Thank you so much for coming.
You've got a great cause worth fighting for. I couldn't wait to get here. That said, I expected, well, more people?
So far, there's only the two of us.
But we're highly motivated.
Well, it's a start.
Some people I knew already were dear friends of mine, like Little Gray Cells and Just My Stupid Opinion.
Lots of interesting things. This is absolutely abominable, and the RCMP are really in the shit here, and they know it.
Hi, I'm not really sure what I'm doing here, but I think it's time that I needed to speak up.
The following program is brought to you in living color.
Something watching on TV, horror movie, you shut it off, you go to bed. We can't shut this off. Every time we close our eyes, the horror movie turns on. So I know for myself, when I close my eyes, go try to go to bed, picture my parents being shot.
Trying to piece together a story that seems so unbelievable.
Let's have a look at this. I'm going to pause it periodically, and I'm going to try and not lose my shit because I was really angry. Really angry. I'm getting really pissed now. I'll preface this by saying I'm strongly urging all of the victims in this, the victims' families, to launch a class action lawsuit against the RCMP. And I would just love to have the RCMP under discovery. I have a lot of questions, and I'm sure a lawyer would too.
Canadian Mounted Police and their stories. Stories of their courage. Stories of their lives filled with hazard, romance, and adventure. The RCMP story this week, Gunslinger.
Oh my goodness, how many windows do I have open? Okay, good evening. What is it, 10 minutes to 6 down there? Wow, it's windy down here. At Chinook. How's your guys' weather? Okay, got Lynn in here. Blue Nose. Happy Dance. You can't do dancing, can you? Because you've got to stay socially distanced. Everybody having a chat, Rooney. That's good. I love to see all of you having a good chat with each other. It's good. It's kind of a little family we've got built, right? Thank you, Lynn. That's nice of you to say. Great day. We get a video. Okay. Well, I do have a bunch of things, but I think I'll leave bigger ones for a little bit. We'll see. I'm still doing a lot of research as always. Carla. I don't know about the white Hyundai yet. Working. Gary. Any ideas and help, much appreciated. So please always leave your comments and such below. Linda McDonald. NS44. Everyone knows that donairs are even better the next day. Are you enjoying a donair right now? This is sweet sauce. Do you guys put hot sauce on them down there? I like the pepperoni inside. I've taken quite a liking to it now. Bush Baby. Mark Evans, glad to see new streams. Thank you. Glad to be back with everybody. I've been here, just quiet. Donna, hello. We've got Tara. Hey, I hope I'm not disturbing anybody's dinner. I don't want to be disturbing anybody's dinner. I have bad timing, and it's usually last minute. Peaches and Cream. Space Explorer. Hello from Tatamagoush. Have I got the pronunciation right? Hope so. Phanox. Cornwall. I was just reading a story about Peterborough. Interesting. All fish for another day. Okay. Now, I wanted to get your thoughts, throw a couple of things on the table, and see what you thought. I don't think I can figure out an explanation for it, but my mind is just but one and not that grand. So, KLML, I would never be so conceited. White Hyundai, Elantra. Driver was showing strangers where I live and park my car. I know the license plate starts with GCR, so I'm extremely interested. May tie to a few more informants. Okay, I don't know anything about that. Very interesting. Maybe somebody else has some knowledge on that. All right, so let's see. I think I also wanted to go over a couple of points more that I didn't really stress last time. I'm hoping I can remember them. I just kind of wing. Okay. So we have 11:30, which is an hour and a half after the original complaint, or if you go by the original press conferences, it's approximately 1 hour. I don't know what's going on with all that, but we have a lot of strange things. Now, this email is of particular note. So, this is, I don't know why I don't have this fixed. Interesting. Maybe I have the wrong copy. But I don't know where it went. Will this one work? I want to fix one thing on here because just let me do a little bit of work. Give me one moment, please. Otherwise, it's not adjusted for. Oh, now all my colors are messed up. That's not what I wanted. Was it? I think this is what I wanted. Bollocks! No, that's over here. Okay. Whoa, that's not all what I was looking for either. I did it in the reverse. Oh well, we'll do it this way. And go back and fix it later. Oh, come on. You all are so patient with me. Okay, that's not going to work. Anyway, it doesn't much matter. We can just do it this way. I'm not going to bore you with all this. Okay. Now, so we know that this email is coming out at 1:07 Atlantic time. 1:07. So it's been kicked up, I would think, given the fact that it's on Eastern time, it's been kicked up to Ottawa already. Just interesting things to note. But I mean, it's fairly serious incident, obviously. But understanding kind of how procedure goes is important, because it's quite elaborate. I don't claim to know it at all, but I have a bit of a feel for it, and have been very schooled by certain people. I'm not sure all of it's getting in yet, but anyway. So if we look at the actual email, hello, Glenn. Oh, more delays. Uh-oh, really? Oh, well, now I'm curious. More delays, say you? CBC, Nova Scotia. I'm shocked. Come on. Okay. Not finding it yet. Maybe I'll get it later. Okay. Now, stay on topic. Okay. Bolo from Colchester. Be on the lookout. Active shooter incident. This is terrible words to use, by the way, for YouTube. It immediately results in Barry, but all right. In progress. Subject of complaint is a Gabriel Wortman with a birth date listed. All right, so that says to me that birth date means that they either have somebody giving them that information, or that they have run CPIC. They've run checks on him. And the incident is in Portapique, Colchester County. SOC is believed to be armed and is arrestable for the incident in progress. SOC is thought, again, I'm just interesting. I didn't get a lot of feedback from you guys yet, but to be very familiar with firearms and should be considered armed and dangerous is thought to be. It seems like they have prior knowledge. That's the way I read it, but maybe it's just me. SOC is associated to two vehicles, a white 2015 Mercedes 350 Nova Scotia plate, and they've got the plate number, and an old white police car. May be burned at the scene. Now, if we go over to, let's see, which way do I want to do this first? How many windows of this do I have? Oh, goodness me, oh my. If we go over to the affidavit sworn out in that extremely busy part of June and not publicly shown for, what was it, 10 days? Nobody seemed to want to write about it. 10 days, 2 weeks. Okay. June 3rd. Very interesting time June is. Sorry. Searching. There is a chronological order I want to go in. Don't want to mess it up. And at some point, I'm definitely going to have to start dissecting very thoroughly the affidavit. By 1041, the initial RCMP members located a burning white Taurus. Remember, this is, how long did it take to prepare this? A year, 2 and 2 months, almost. A decommissioned white Ford Taurus, decommissioned police cruiser in the driveway of one of the burning buildings. About a minute later, they contacted the critical incident commander to request evacuation. Okay, so we have one cruiser being located at this point in time. All right. Now, 1041. That's what Darren Campbell says. I'm just using their words. Now, if we go over to, no, wait, we have to do one more. So we have one vehicle by Darren's account so far being located at an unknown building, but I did kind of deduce where that was, given some information. I'm not sure if I'm privy to share that yet, but we'll get there at some point. Now, going forward to point 26. At approximately 12:45 a.m., the RCMP requested Halifax Regional Police to, oh, no, my apologies, back up. So we're 1041, one cruiser at some unknown building. Is that correct? Now, let's go to the dump. The leak that Paul and Frank had. Where is that? We'll do it this way. I had it all prepared, but I have so many windows all the time. It's just nuts. Maybe while I'm working on this, I can see what you guys are saying. One cruiser for sure, where I am, I know what the address, would fly in court, be a one burner. It would be one burner building. Because everybody presumes, right, that it was, or a lot of thoughts were that it was the warehouse. The warrants kind of read that way, but it's not really what they say. Oh no, Frank doesn't want to load. This is kind of fun stuff I get hit with. What? What's going on here? Does Frank know? I don't know. I'm scrolling. There's nothing there. Okay. Let's see if I've got download picture. I took a picture of it. So disorganized, aren't I? Well, no, I don't want to do that. Wow. Okay. I'm just not having a great day. Okay. So, this comes from Frank Magazine, right? Okay. Now, 1041. Let's go to the first passage here. In April 2020, the perpetrator owned a number of vehicles. 2007 black Jeep Wrangler, 2017 white Ford Taurus, or white F-150, my correction, and a 2015 Mercedes-Benz were registered under the perpetrator's name. 3 vehicles, a 2017 Ford Taurus and 2 2013 Ford Tauruses, were registered, keyword registered, to Berkshire Broman Corporation, a corporation owned by the perpetrator. The perpetrator also owned a 2013 Ford Taurus that was not registered. Okay, so let's go back in time to the very beginning of all this, because there's a lot of language and interesting things going on here. Not registered. Did anybody, you remember all that stuff? And the quote, unplated, we had articles like this: unlicensed vehicle helped evade police detection. That, you know, you got to think about that sentence for a little bit. Amid the chaos that descended upon the rural Nova Scotia community of Portapique last weekend, police, so this is obviously early on, April 24th, by Brian, swimmer, police were unaware that the 51-year-old gunman, Gabriel Wortman, owned an unlicensed vehicle that looked very nearly identical to an RCMP cruiser. This allowed Wortman to evade detection. Now that's a bit of a head scratcher. Because is it the fact that it has no license, or it wasn't registered? Does it physically not have a plate on the car, or was it not registered? Or was it both? The implication was, with this mystery vehicle that was always floating around, that it wasn't registered. But in fact, that's not true. It was registered, i.e., it was plated. This is important to remember. Plated, right? So you had a lot of these types of articles, discussion all in the news. I'm not sure how taking a license plate off of a police car necessarily means that then you can evade detection. What difference does it make? In fact, it's a bit of a heat score to be running around in a RCMP cruiser with no license plate on it, I would think, but correct me if I'm wrong. I'm just thinking that it would probably make it easier to find. Hey, we're looking for a car with no license plate. But that doesn't matter at this point in time. I just think it was more the wording and the mystery car that was out there that wasn't licensed and wasn't, you know. Hope you're following what I'm saying. Okay, now, I guess 7 people didn't. Or I pissed them off. let's go back to the document because that further clarifies it for us. 3 vehicles, 2017 Ford Taurus and 2 2013 Tauruses were registered under the to Berkshire Broman Corporation, a corporation owned by the perpetrator. The perpetrator also owned a 2013 Ford Taurus that was not registered. Okay. And then fast forwarding here to the perpetrator had modeled the 2017 Ford Taurus to mimic a fully marked RCMP police cruiser. That would mean the 2017 Ford Taurus is plated. Or am I wrong? So it actually has a license plate. So you have to start to think, if I'm right in this thinking, so please correct me. I did phone around a number of registries and asked this kind of thing, and that was the answer I got. In my experience, when you register a vehicle, that means that you have a plate. Yes? So, one needs to think about a few things here with this vehicle. I could touch on that point. The vehicle was sold in June 2019. Is that correct? June 2019. I have the dates written. Maybe it's even on that picture. I'm not sure. So how old is this vehicle? And it appears that it may have gone to the surplus place in May. So it's a year and January, February, March, April, May. 5 months old. And yes, it can be released early. So they could have got it obviously earlier than that. But that seems very young to retire a cruiser, would be one question I would say, unless it was in an accident, in which case then it would have to be fixed. And if it was fixed, who did the fixing? But I didn't read anything about that. All right, but let's stay with the point. No, you don't need to. You can register a car. No need for plates or insurance. You can register the vehicle. All right, well, I think my point may be proven, possibly. I'm not familiar with registering a vehicle without a license plate, but that's interesting. It still would be in name, but the documents to me kind of prove something. So now let's go forward. At 12/12/22, April 19th, Constable Nick Dorrington, who had issued a speeding ticket to the perpetrator in February 2020, circulated a photograph of the perpetrator's driver's license to members. He also advised the perpetrator was associated to a white Taurus with reflective decals on the side of the vehicle. Now, they're saying this is not the mock RCMP cruiser. It was a decommissioned 2013. The point is, what vehicle registration was that underneath? That would be under Berkshire Broman. Berkshire Broman, who's owned by Gabriel Workman, right? So how many cars do they know about at 107? Do they know about a white Mercedes and an old white police car? Or, because they know about the old white police car, do they know about Berkshire Broman? Because Nick Dorrington seemed to indicate the plate that he used, which was the one that was discovered in Halifax, was the Berkshire Brougham. So now they know about 3 cars. The Bolo does not seem to indicate the 3 vehicles. The Bolo seems to indicate 1 2015 Mercedes and possibly some old white police car, which may be burned at the scene. Now, let's go to the affidavit again. If I'm wrong, correct me. So now they have dispatched the RCMP, Halifax Regional Police. When does Halifax report back? Point 32. At about 1:58, RCMP were informed by Halifax Regional Police they had located white Ford Taurus, decommissioned police cruiser, plated in Berkshire Brougham, at the gunman's Dartmouth residence. But they believed that the vehicle had not moved for some time because it had snow on it. Now, if we're to believe, you could use the argument, well, there's 2 cars down there. One is burned and one is not, because that's another revelation, right? That they discovered 1 car that was unburned. Don't know about what time that is, but obviously, I guess it must have burned later. You could say, well, listen, they know about the 2 cars down in Portapique, and they know about the one over in Dartmouth. So thereby, all the Berkshire cars are accounted for. And it's just this unplated car that's not accounted for. The problem with that is the time. 1:58, according to Darren Campbell's statement. Or if you use this one, it's 1:54. However, they had already known about this since 12/22 and issued a Bolo. At 1:07. When it's not accounted for until 1:54 at the earliest. Dorrington told them about 1 car that was associated to him, Berkshire Brougham, which opens up all of his cars. Does that make sense? They would know about all of his cars. Director thereby associated with the car because the car is registered to him. And that's all 3 of them. Yet the Bolo somehow doesn't seem to indicate any other vehicles except for the Mercedes, which turns out to be a Pointer car, and later and an old white police car. But by this point in time, they certainly know the plate because Dorrington has given them one. Why is that not there? If they've discovered 2 cars burned, but they know of 3, why is there not all 3 cars listed on here? There's cars. There should be on here. They don't inform anybody about them for another 47 minutes. Even though they knew about them at 12:12 with the picture of the license plate. Which was that? This one, the one that I had on the cover sheet. Where's that? Oh, balls. I got the wrong one pulled up here. The one down at the clinic, right? because it wasn't seen. So there's all kinds of problems with that. And I don't know how you can logic your way out of it. If you guys can help me with it, I'd appreciate it, because I can't make sense of it. Now, let's see. Do I want to touch on some other points here? I've got more, but let's see if I do at this point in time. Once again, in the warrants, it indicates it's registered under Berkshire Brougham. Which then leads yourself to ask questions such as, why is the car so new? 2, would you register a vehicle that you plan on building into an RCMP cruiser? One that's going to be, if it is in fact plated then, which I think it is. They didn't refer to the fact that it had no plate, as in like it didn't have, it was just a bill of sale, which is separate. That's just a bill of sale, ownership. It's registered with the registry. Would you get that car now used and register it only to build it into an RCMP cruiser, because then you could never drive it on the road and it would be subject to inspection? No? I don't. I think those are the points that I wanted to make for today. Dartmouth was at at the Dartmouth location, not burnt. Correct. But when did they learn that? At 1:54. At the earliest. The Pointer car, which is driven by Lisa. I don't have that. Let's see. Let me check my files. I did put together a thing of the statements, even Lisa's own statement, which indicates she's the primary driver on the car. Why are you monitoring a car when you know of several other vehicles? If in fact also the F-150 is missing, why is that not listed? And then we fast forward, and we have the introduction of the 2009 Scion. Nobody's ever mentioned that. We have the mention of SIP, Special Interest Person. The Pointer vehicle, which I think is extremely problematic. And though I may not understand Pointer vehicle that well, that was what it was explained to me by RCMP. So I don't know if we're getting the full download on what's going on. I certainly know there's a lot of obfuscation going on. It seems like some funny games with words and plated versus unplated versus registered and unregistered cars. The bogus ticket with the license plate he had a picture of, because of course that's quite normal too, right? You take pictures of license plates of cars on dead-end gravel roads in the middle of winter with speed limit. Speeding? You ask for an adjournment on a ticket because you're going to go ballistic. there's so many problems with this story. So many problems. Where is the F-150? Great. Where is it? I don't know. It just seems to have disappeared. The F-150 seems to be absent. I did want to clarify one other thing too. Now, I go back and I review other cases RCMP are involved in. I was going back and I was reviewing Corporal Clark. I pick on Corporal Clark, and I want to clarify, I don't want to pick on anybody. What I do want is the truth. I want the truth for my friend. I want the truth, who is our friend at this point in time. I want the truth for the family members, all of them. And frankly, I want the truth for all of us Canadians, because that's what we pay for. And we deserve that. I don't think that being lied to and run through the ringer, I won't speak for any family member because it's not my place. You've heard from Tara multiple times on this stuff. You've heard from other family members how they are with this. And all you have to do is put yourself into their shoes, which, thank goodness, we can't, and we're very lucky that we don't have to. I don't want to pick on Corporal Clark as a person because she is doing her job, but I do have a problem with that. There is such a thing as just saying no. Our society in general has a problem with that. Speaking the truth. When you know the truth, you speak it, even if it means you're going to have to take a few lumps. You can't say it's somebody else's fault. That's a decision that you make. And I know that these press officers, they take a ton of heat. I was reading about a sergeant in BC who he took a lot of heat to do with certain things. It wasn't just the YVR incident. And he ended up taking his own life. And this is the environment which, we hear about, that gets tossed about all the time. Toxic. The RCMP is toxic. It's toxic to members. I believe any member who's in there who hasn't fully got on board understands that there's a lot of fear. There are people who get hurt by their own organization. This is not fair. And that's not what we pay for. So everybody's taking heat. And that's why I do want to communicate. I don't want to pick on people. I just want the truth. All right, let's get to your comments. Maybe I'll learn I'm wrong all here. Can't watch when Seamus is smoking. Oh, no. You're still on about that, I think. Okay. Just snow. I think the snow is snow. Perhaps. It just keeps, there's a lot of things that are introduced that may or may not have significance. Smoke. Okay. His dad is connected to witness protection. Okay. Don't know anything about that. You miss smoking? Well, you vape, so that's enough, right? Don't you? I would have thought your cravings have gone by now, Faye. But great job. I'm going to quit one of these days, I promise. How would Dorrington pull a picture up of a plate? I doubt dash cam could recall footage over. Well, I'm guessing that he had it on his phone. But again, this is something odd. On a dead-end gravel road in the middle of winter, why would you be taking a picture of somebody's license plate? If they're not important and you're not already observing them. What was it? One particular officer who always responded. Actually, there were two, but one in particular who always was responding. One from Halifax also, I believe. Who could that be? Cigarette sales dropped heavily in Nova Scotia during LJC hiatus. Okay. Was everybody smoking when you got them and you see me smoking? Hashtag red surge. Interesting. Hello. Almost 2 years in March. Wonder if Bible Hill waited for Wortman that night in Portapique so they could write him up a phony ticket as a favor to HRP. Interesting time the ticket came out too. And again, interesting day. It was a busy day for Mr. Wortman that day. Okay, lots of talk about smoking. I'm hoping that I'm going to get some feedback here on the. Maybe I just confused everybody. $12.22. They knew about Berkshire plates. That's what I'm telling. 107. They issue a bolo. They don't include any of them, and they don't have confirmation of the one vehicle. If they were going by that, because he's saying, well, it's Berkshire, right? They don't have confirmation that 3 vehicles technically could be burned until 47 minutes later. Do they wear body cams? Accountability. Yeah. I mean, this is something we all have in our own lives, right? We have to be accountable to other people around us or to society. Mistakes can be made, and you just have to say that you're sorry. And I don't think what's going on is necessarily a mistake. That would be was it? Absolute miracle. Too many mistakes. Way too many mistakes. But it's still something you can apologize for and make amends for, and that's all. And then people can move along. You don't do that. People can't do that. I believe in justice, which is extremely lacking. Hello, all. Hello, Linda. We're supposed to be provincially policing, and if this bleeds into other police departments, which come on, we have to be rational here. I think we were taught that as kids, police are held to a higher standard, and they should be. But the thing is that bar seems to have dropped. And when you're pledging allegiances not to the people, that's a problem. Justice. You say some good things. Hashtag surge. Red surge. Which is a beautiful uniform, by the way. I feel bad for the RCMP members who joined to help people. I think a lot of them Tara's right. A lot of them get, they join with the best of intentions, honestly. And then the system, which is a bureaucratic nightmare and not necessarily built for protection and general policing of people, but rather spy operations, protection of itself, its own internal growth. Put it down in FBI, down in United States, when asked questions. These echoes, it's echoes all over the world. It's just patterns. Same thing. No, we can't answer that. Can't answer that. Sorry, not answering that. Who are you to say you can't answer that? Really? He smokes. He does excellent work. Let the man smoke. Mostly, I want truth. I want my friend to have a good night's sleep, and I can only imagine what relatives I haven't spoken to, where they are at. But it's not too hard to deduce from the ones that I do. Hello, Barbara. Was Wortman swapping plates? Possible, but does it matter? Why is it not on the bolo? Why is it missing? Oh yes, you see here, Lisa Banfield's Mercedes. This is from her own statement. Her Mercedes. Pointer vehicle. Only associated to 2 vehicles? You certainly know he's associated to more. And you can't claim that it's burned because you don't even know about the one in Dartmouth. Too damn cold to smoke. You get a head buzz. Speeding ticket that day was after the head of the Marriott crime family died in the city. May or may not have relation. I'd say Mercedes, pointer car, specific plate known. There's something going on here. And I've noticed an uptick in certain things. Patterns. I mean, he was running for the same model vehicles. Good point, possibility. Alberta Justice Minister got pulled over distracted driving, called the Edmonton Police Chief to get out of paying. Corruption. Oh, I should do a story about that. There's something quite similar within the RCMP. Oh boy, that's a good story. Amit. I know somebody for sure who will be listening who knows what I'm talking about. And yes, I will go there at one point. Oh, and those upstairs, they know that one too. But that isn't something that can't be rectified. This can be rectified. I don't believe it's beyond redemption. I don't. Actually, I'm not even going to go there. Certainly apologies are due. Okay, so we got a lot of interconnection between stuff going on. Harry had an interview on CTV. Oh, I will have to. Hopefully somebody's linked that or something. I can track it down. All right. See you later, Tara. Have a great night. I'll never give up. Don't give up on friends. That's what friends do. They stay together. It might have been the car with the ticket that was in Dartmouth. Maybe he took it, parked it, since the police knew about it. And then you have the Hyundai. I mean, come on, let's get real here. There's vehicles galore going on. Am I correct though in my point? Is my point being understood? Or did I just confuse? Recently, I've heard rules requiring citizenship at officer loosened, so now you don't even have to be a citizen. Really? That's interesting. Wow. Okay. Does my point make sense? Because it's actually a fairly big one. There's a few there. Plated vehicle and the Bolo where they didn't tell anybody about it. Do you register a vehicle that you're planning on building into a car? I could get into other stuff. He's ordering things beforehand. Where's American Vinyl? I'd like to know where American Vinyl is. How come they're not mentioned anywhere? We certainly have mention of other decal shop. But where's American Vinyl? They were producing decals delivered to him in April, I believe. The order was placed in April. Prior to him having a car. He's getting supplies for prior to getting a car. Yeah, I suppose you could say he bought them in anticipation, but wouldn't you kind of do it the other way around? Okay, you get it. Great. They should have known about it. When they pull it up, the registration will come up. The associated vehicle, it says it quite clearly, associated vehicle, associated to Berkshire Broman. Did they CPIC Lisa? There's another great question. Did they Jean Lisa? JEIN, which is the network down in Nova Scotia. Because how could you know if a person is associated to a crime, whether they're missing or not? You're going to I believe that's protocol. They would just pull all records on everybody. Especially if you're talking about violent crime and there's outstanding people. You're going to pull all the records on somebody. Did they do that? Did they pull the gene records on him? When did they pull gene records on Wortman? Justice Enforcement Information Network, I think it is. Should have all of his listings. So why then would they say he didn't have a criminal record right away? I could go into a lot of other things, but I'm not going to right now. Who's the guy that was at the auction also buying parts? Larry Tremblay. I've tried to look for verification of that. I don't have it. So if anybody does know, I like to use multiple sources. It's just kind of the way I work. It's the best way I can cover my hiney. Hey, man. Clown Media. Well, you start by being accountable, by being transparent and apologizing. That would be the start. That would be a start. Yes, Larry Tremblay. A lot of people went out. Again, there's so much political backroom garbage going on that you and I aren't privy to. We're not supposed to be privy to it. This incident just happened to, I think they just kind of hoped it would go away. That's the way it usually works. Problem is, this one isn't. I don't know anything about. That's a different Northumberland. If you're talking about the Northumberland in Nova Scotia, yes. I believe the Macquaries are involved with that one. There is one supposedly in New Brunswick that isn't. Who owned the dental clinic? There's another good question. Truly owned the dental clinic? Last person on record, 1985. Does he still own it? There's no re-registration. I believe. Please fact check me and let me know if I'm wrong. Let me know if I'm wrong. Always, I like to make sure I'm 100% on stuff. Did RCMP have a funeral for Heidi? I believe that they did. I'm not sure. I know a lot of stuff disappeared, and I did hear from some people down there that they were not happy how I'm thinking of one person in particular, how and I've noticed that if you search things on the internet, gone. Hello, Robert. They had the procession. That's right. There was the procession of the car. Quite a procession. They had the car go down to the corner. Don't believe that there was a body in the car. And if there was a body in the car, then we have an unaccounted for body. As there was a body on the road and a body in the back of the... Yeah, I better not touch any of those other things right now. Okay. So as long as I've kind of got that out there, that's just another thing to mull over. Help me understand if I'm wrong. I think if you buy a used vehicle, you have to do inspections. Is that correct? Within the first 2 years. So it would be subject to inspection. I think registration, at least here in Alberta, registration means plated. Seems an odd thing to do. It seems an odd thing to have a virtually brand new RCMP cruiser for sale, unless it was heavily damaged, in which case, why is there no records of it being repaired? There's just questions after questions that need legitimate answers. Does anybody have, let me see, hopefully somebody over in the Discord linked about the, balls, about the delay. Somebody commented about that earlier, and I did want to check that out. I wouldn't be surprised, but frankly, nothing at this point surprises me. Would have been seldom anyways, but news. Okay. Thank you for bringing me up to speed. I love that. Families of people killed in Nova Scotia mass shooting don't want any more public inquiry delays. No. Okay. Lawyer for 23 participating in inquiry says more information needed about hearings. Families of people killed during the Nova Scotia mass shooting in April 2020 are calling for the public inquiry examining the circumstances that led to the deaths of 22 people to not further delay hearings and to provide more clarity on what to expect during the proceedings. Yes, I had a question about that today too. Does the mandate include anything that happened afterwards? Because there were things that happened in December. There's a lot of investigation, ongoing investigation. Does that include any of that? Last week, the Mass Casualty Commission announced the public portion of the inquiry, which will include hearings about where people may be called as witnesses to answer questions, would be delayed another month until the end of February. Oh, okay. This is the second postponement? Okay, so this is, I think I made a prediction about this. And then it happened almost right away. You remember that screen? It almost happened right away. How odd. Whilst I was still streaming. How strange. Maybe I guess I must just have good feelings about things. Yeah, here we go. So then I'm literally streaming at this point in time. And I'm done streaming. And there it is. Huh. Funny. I have an idea. Why don't we petition Joe Rogan to have LGC playing go well apart on his show? Start a petition online. Third, 28B11 COVID related. Again, is this just a happy coincidence? I'm just kind of more sticking with cover up, and lies that I can readily expose. Those ones are much easier to work with. You can, and that's part of the feeding no information. That's all part of it. It just feeds into the, well, I think this or I think that. You can certainly find out certain things, and we have, and that's fantastic. And many thanks to all of you and your hard work, and many others. But you can use their own words against them, right? Things that are printed, and they say that this is the way it is, like Red Mazda 24th. No, not Red Mazda. Sent a message in Discord. Okay. I didn't get a message. Oh, unless it's in the... Oh, no. I don't know why this is this way, but of course I'm not very technological. I can't see that at all in that thing. Okay. Thank you. There we go. For immediate release, Robert Pinio. Mass Casualty Commission has recently advised the public regarding its delay on the commencement of public proceedings February 22nd, 2022. In response to media requests for their reaction on behalf of those persons, quote, most affected, who are represented before the Commission by Patterson Law, we offer the following comment. On behalf of our clients, we have and continue to urge the Commission to advance the activities, its activities of public proceedings, which is the heart of the public inquiry. Again, I'm very sketchy about the language of inquiry. It's not an inquiry. to my understanding, but it's very custom built ad hoc. While with the endorsement of our clients, we have participated completely in the non-public opportunities for input, and we have afforded the commission. We steadfastly share our client's position that it's time for the public proceedings to begin. Our clients deserve the opportunity to fully explore and test evidence before the commission, including questioning those who have knowledge about the tragic events of April 2020 and to secure meaningful answers about what happened and why. Our clients remain hopeful in spite of repeated delays. These opportunities, information, and answers will be afforded to them with full advantage of the tools that public inquiry I'm not familiar with a public inquiry that operates this way or has the mandate rules that it does at all. Promises them. Very, very interesting, unique beast that they created. In addition to the start date, which is not subject to further postponement, our clients continue to wait for meaningful answers that a fulsome public inquiry is what they will receive. Our clients are becoming increasingly concerned by these delays, and the limited information being shared about the public proceedings will entail what role those, quote, most affected will be afforded in these public proceedings. In spite of these concerns, we and our clients will continue to participate completely in trust that a public inquiry will in fact begin in February, and that our clients' ability to participate in the presentation and testing of evidence before the commission will be full and unfettered. We continue to ask on behalf of our clients that the media inquiries be directed to their legal counsel. Quote, the tragedies of our clients' experience are ever present, and they continue to ask for privacy as they continue to heal and prepare for themselves for public proceedings to come. Patterson Law is in Nova Scotia law firm with offices in Halifax, Truro, New Glasgow, and Bridgewater. I've seen, it's a careful balance that one has to do. You're seeking justice, and justice shouldn't be expedited, but at the same time, it does have to be. But I think in this case, there's a lot of waiting for information, mining variety of sources for information, so that something can be presented that kind of makes sense, if you follow what I'm saying. That's why I don't like putting all my cards on the table. They can wait. Some, but they will come. Brown Loop smugglers. Will ad hoc release the ballistics reports on guns thrown into the woods? Was any gun residue swabs done if her gun was fired? If none were done, then why weren't they done? Good question. Not sure. Do we have any identification formally of her? No. Any acknowledgement that there was a gun incident? No. Just a lot of, and those, if these are known details at this point in time, might as well just come clean with them, but I don't know. Firehouse drive-by, little black truck, big gun. Little black truck. Curious. Curious. I'm curious. Wasn't in the CERT report. The CERT report was vague. Vague. 3 months. 3 months. To get that one together. Yeah, I've heard there's a few videos that have been deleted, but there's still some pretty good ones back there. All right. Do hope that you all are well. Hour and 15 minutes. Kept it fairly short again. Wow. I don't know what's going on here. And I assure you, I will be seeing you again soon. Take care. God bless you, and God bless the 23. Have a great evening.